Right now at 6.
We will remain loud about this.
The family of a missing Winona woman asks for the community's help finding her as police release more details that may help the search. And the sexual assault trial of a former high school track coach is underway in Monroe County. The victim takes the stand.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. More details have been released on a missing Winona mom. 26-year-old Madeline Kingsbury has been missing since March 31st. There are no clear suspects at this time, and her family is now offering a $50,000 reward to anyone with information to bring her home. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen has more.
Police say Kingsbury hasn't been seen since Friday, the morning of March 31st. She didn't show up for work and she didn't pick up her kids from daycare. All of these things, her loved ones say, is extremely out of character.
Madeline is many things. She's a mother, sister, daughter, best friend, granddaughter, and a niece. It's a long list.
Loved ones, searching for answers, asking for help to bring Madeline Kingsbury home.
We will remain loud about this and continue to advocate for Madeline any way, shape, or form.
Winona Police Chief Tom Williams laid out a timeline at Wednesday's press conference. He said Kingsbury and her children's father dropped off the kids at daycare at 8 that morning. She returned home at 8:15.
The father of Maddie's children has spoken to law enforcement and told us that he left the residence in Maddie's van around 10 a.m. and upon returning later in the day, Maddie was not home.
Police say Kingsbury's van was parked in her driveway after 1:30. Police believe a van similar to Maddie's was driven on County Road 12 and Highway 43 in Winona and eastern Fillmore counties.
Nothing to date has indicated that Maddie left the residence on foot or in another vehicle.
Investigators found her phone, wallet, ID, and the jacket she was wearing that morning in her home.
We believe Maddie's disappearance is involuntary, suspicious, and we are all concerned for her safety.
Her sister, Megan Kingsbury, spoke of her sister's character.
Family is everything to her. She's grown into an impressive and beautiful young woman.
She ended her speech, calling for help.
So please help us find Madeline. The children need their mother. We need our daughter, our sister, our aunt, and our best friend back.
Winona police are asking anyone with video footage along Highway 43 leading into eastern Fillmore County to send it over. They say any footage, whether there's a vehicle in it or not, is helpful in their investigation. Along Highway 43, this is Emily Haugen for News 8 Now.
Thanks, Emily. Law enforcement is also asking those who live in Winona or Fillmore counties to walk their property, check buildings, and look for any signs of disturbance. You can send tips and footage to Winona Police or Winona Crime Stoppers.
Well, these high temperatures you see behind me today, you can really tell well that warm front just how far north it tracked, with highs in the 50s to around 60 degrees down towards Viroqua, Decorah, and Prairie du Chien. And these were set this morning, then falling temps throughout the day as a cold front swept through. Close to 50 in La Crosse, only upper 30s though in Eau Claire. Mainly cloudy sky. We've had some brief peaks of sun from time to time, but you can see mostly cloudy sky in the back edge of that strong storm system that brought the storms yesterday and last night, now into the Ohio Valley, and then a secondary low up towards Duluth, Minnesota, wrapping those clouds and even some flurries around up towards the Twin Cities, and also causing those strong westerly winds. Current temperatures in the 30s for most, but winds still gusting 25 to 40 plus miles per hour. That's making it feel even colder. So gradually decreasing clouds overnight. Plenty of bright moonlight from that full pink moon. Windy still, and that's going to make those temperatures in the 20s feel like the teens for overnight lows. So pretty cold for this time of year. Now the good news, after a rather cool day tomorrow, nice little warming trend, especially heading into next week. I'll share it in just a few minutes.
I like the sound of that. Thanks, Bill. Back on the news side of things this evening, a former Cashton teacher and coach is on trial for sexually assaulting a student and enticing a child. News 8 Now's Dua Israr was at the courthouse where the victim took the stand. Good evening, Dua.
Ken, the victim, who was entering her senior year at the time, says there were several instances where she felt uncomfortable with the former coach.
He was like a dad to me.
52-year-old Jeremy Mosley appeared in court for day 2 of his trial.
The Cashton track and cross-country coach is charged with 2 separate felonies, including sexual assault of a child by school staff and child enticement. In court, the victim said she interacted with Mosley between May and August of 2021 because of track and field. During those 3 months, the victim listed various times Mosley made comments about her appearance and undergarments. In late July, the victim says Mosley offered to conduct a medical examination.
He walked to the door, shut the door, and as he was shutting the door, he just said, I don't want anyone to see what's going on and, wonder what's going on.
Investigators say the assault took place when Mosley was quote-unquote checking the hips of the student. Afterwards, Mosley walked with the student to the parking lot.
When we got out there, he basically said, so I didn't find anything, and that was pretty much it.
The victim says she told her friend in August of that year.
I did not want to tell anyone because I cared about him and his family and I didn't want to overreact.
The friend's mom is a mandatory reporter and informed Human Services.
Another former student testified about a separate incident with Mosley. This student said Mosley offered to and applied athletic tape on her hamstring. She says she mostly avoided Mosley when she could after that. Ken?
All right, thanks very much, Dua. And that trial is expected to wrap up tomorrow. Well, there's a dramatic increase in kids being found with THC or vaping devices in Monroe County. That's according to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff is now speaking out about a recent spike in children, some as young as 8, being found with drugs. In particular, the sheriff brought up community backlash against a recent arrest of an 18-year-old who was found with 45 pounds of marijuana, who authorities say intended on selling to kids. The county's chief deputy says they understand that marijuana is legal in other states and says they practice discretion when dealing with the drug. But this case had a community impact.
When a case like this comes about, that there's community implications dealing with children, like you mentioned, down to 8 years old, using these substances, we felt it was important to conduct that investigation and subsequently make that arrest.
The department got a lot of response on social media, with people asking why they're not focusing on investigations involving more dangerous drugs like methamphetamine and opioids. Deputy Weaver says those investigations are constant, but they don't publicize the cases. In federal funding for clean drinking water infrastructure upgrades. Senator Tammy Baldwin released information about the EPA investment today. The funds are part of the bipartisan infrastructure law supported by Baldwin. According to the senator, the bill includes a Buy America provision written by Baldwin that ensures American iron and steel are used for those infrastructure upgrades. Yesterday's election saw the highest voter turnout in about 20 years. Experts say abortion rights spurred voters to the polls to vote in a contentious Supreme Court race. And after the election, Republicans now hold a supermajority in Wisconsin's Senate.
I won't write your will.
I don't write contracts.
I won't handle your divorce.
I do know a few things about personal injury law.
All I do is help injured people get the compensation they deserve.
At Bygoff and Rohde, that's how we get results.
Countdown to Ashley's one-day spring sale starts now. This Saturday, April 8th, in-store only. Get unbeatable doorbuster prices all day. Plus, the first 75 people will receive a scratch-off coupon, and one lucky guest will win $2,500 off their purchase at Ashley.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you.
So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Wisconsin is filled with Wisconsin lottery winners. Some play alone. Others play as one. Some had a feeling on the day they won, and some just gave it a shot. Last year, players won over $559 million in prizes with the Wisconsin Lottery. Whether you're a property manager from Waukesha or a retired iron worker from New Holstein, you'll find winners and more winners playing in Wisconsin.
At Ashley, spring into slumber with a variety of comfort choices from top mattress brands like Ashley Sleep and Sealy. Or get 0% interest for 60 months on select mattresses. Visit your local Ashley store or ashley.com for better sleep and savings today.
I've practiced personal injury law for 4 years.
For 20 years.
For 32 years.
All I do every day
Is help injured people get the compensation that they deserve.
At Vigoff and Rohde, that's how we get results.
Wisconsin saw unprecedented turnout for an April general election yesterday. The AP reports statewide voter turnout nearly 40%, the highest spring turnout in 20 years. La Crosse County, an unofficial report of 52% voter turnout. The $42 million race driving that was the Wisconsin Supreme Court, which Janet Protasiewicz won by 11 points to flip the court for the first time since 2008. UWL political science professor Anthony Chergosky says Protasiewicz's campaign centering on abortion rights likely motivated voters more than Dan Kelly's above politics approach.
She made it very clear that she is pro-choice, and that was a huge test of how a judicial candidate could campaign for office. So Protasiewicz winning indicates that the approach of talking very bluntly about abortion was quite effective.
Now, Kelly, in his final campaign speech Tuesday, called Protasiewicz a serial liar and not a worthy opponent. Wisconsin Republicans did get a win in the 8th Senate District. Republican Dan Nodal from Germantown narrowly defeated Democrat Jody Habush-Sinkin, which gives state Republicans a 2/3 majority in the state Senate. Nodal's win also gives Senate Republicans enough votes now to convict civil officers in impeachment trials and to override a Governor Evers' veto. However, a full override also needs 2/3 in the Assembly, and Republicans there are still 2 seats shy of a supermajority. After the break, farms across the Midwest are getting ready to plant crops, and in Minnesota and western Wisconsin, more women are working in the fields and barns on those farms.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Grahl. Fortunately, the bulk of the severe weather stayed to our south and east last night, closer to the warm front. We did have a lot of hail reports in our neck of the woods, just a couple of isolated severe reports, though most of those were reports of smaller hail. A much quieter, still breezy day in store for tomorrow. I'll have the details of my 8-day forecast up next.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Now's the time to make your dream home a reality with a home loan from Ultra. Whether you're buying, building, or refinancing, we're here to help make it happen. With great rates and local servicing, a secure 24/7 online application, and an expert team. So take the next step and apply now. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. But don't just take our word for it. Here's what our members say. Ultra Federal Credit Union, helping you live your best life.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially during our outdoor sale. Right now, get unbeatable deals on our quality selection of spring supplies for outdoor projects. Like $50 instant savings on this Craftsman trimmer and blower kit. Up to $20 off Scott's Turf Builder crabgrass preventer or weed and feed after sale and mail-in rebate. Large bags of Blaine's Golden Harvest bird food, just $14.99. And Blaine's Rewards members get $100 off these men's cat boots.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
You know, some old cowboys said if you climb in the saddle, you best be ready for the ride. I think that old cowboy was talking about the Midwest Horse Fair coming to Madison, Wisconsin, April 14th through the 16th. You best saddle up for a little family time with hundreds of horses, English, Western, and a big old rodeo. Hundreds of shopping vendors, and fill your belly with some of the tastiest food in the Midwest. Get your tickets before they're gone. Visit MidwestHorseFair.com.
Nicolay, baby. I'll testify my commitment to the truth. Companies tremble while I'm spitting in the booth. I'm a lawyer rapper, peep the fit. Reppin' Nicolay law, cause we're the...
Daddy, what are you doing?
I'm making a rap video.
Good job. All right.
Boom! Billboards, baby!
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at LensCrafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
If Mother Nature cooperates, spring planting is right around the corner, and more women than ever before will be working in the farm fields of Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Reporter John Lortzen talked to some of those farmers about why the trend is likely to continue.
We have 66 as a full barn.
At Gatewood Farm near Wilmer. Christy Gatewood is working full-time, while she also works full-time at another job in town. She's early to rise each day, making sure the dairy cows are milked and the other animals are taken care of.
We have the horse and the donkey, peacocks, chickens for eggs.
Christy grew up raising hogs and growing corn and soybeans. A few years ago, she married into her husband's dairy operation. And as she's become one of the main operators here, she's joined Elite Company.
According to an agriculture census, there are now nearly 20,000 farms in the state where a woman is the primary operator.
That equates to about 1/3 of all farms in the state, numbers that continue to grow.
I am proud to say I'm the 4th generation.
A few miles away from Gatewood Farm is Fixin Farms. That's where you'll find Sarah Lushik. She left corporate America a decade ago to take over her family's century-old farmstead.
Early on, we raised hemp, potatoes, lots of different. It was just a completely different farm way back in the history. But today, strictly corn and soybeans.
And as she gets ready for spring planting, she credits technology for giving her and other women opportunities like this. As a precision farmer, she uses software to map out when and where she wants to plant.
When that seed hits the ground, if we don't do it right, if we don't place it right, we can't fix it. With technology, it has allowed others to enter into agriculture as well.
No matter how this year's crop turns out, both Sarah and Christy are sure of one thing. They want to inspire the next generation of women in agriculture.
There's so many avenues now to agriculture. It used to be just on the farm. Well, now there's so much more.
The farm is always busy. It is nice to be able to be your own boss.
In Candy, Ojai County, John Lortzen, WCCO 4 News.
The USDA Agriculture Census estimates that women are also the primary decision makers on nearly 60% of farms and ranches in Minnesota. Time to switch it up and talk some weather with our chief meteorologist, Bill Grahl.
Well, definitely calmer today in terms of storm threat, but not calm in terms of windy conditions. It was quite gusty out there. In fact, some gusts over 40 miles per hour. Now, back to yesterday and last night with the storms. And this is the Doppler estimated rainfall totals. And you can really see kind of a streaky nature in those rainfall totals. That is very typical when we're in thunderstorm season because literally you get thunderstorms tracking through, and that's where you get the heavier rainfall, where those streaks of green are, and where the storms were most persistent over southeastern parts of the Boone area. That's where the heaviest totals were, 1/2 inch to 1 inch plus in those locations. Only about 2/10 of an inch in La Crosse, though. We're kind of in the blue there, but again, surrounding spots did see some thunderstorms track through, and we had some thunder and lightning here in La Crosse as well. But again, it all depends on where those heavier storms occur and if you see more persistent storms in terms of how much rain you're going to get. And that's going to be the case all through the spring months and the summertime as well. So those rainfall totals can really vary greatly over not too far of distance. All right, skies are mainly cloudy. We've had some brief peaks of sun today. That 49 was set early this morning. Temperatures have been falling since to that low of 37 where we sit right now. 55 and 34 are the averages, and just a trace of rainfall out at the La Crosse Airport after midnight last night. 37 degrees with the clouds. Feels like 27 though, with gusty westerly winds upwards of 30 miles per hour, and the Mississippi continues to rise 9.18 feet. Forecast has it rising to 10 feet sometime this weekend as that snowmelt continues from upstream. 31 in Eau Claire, feels like 17. My goodness, it is April, right? Winds gusting to 35, and the Chippewa River coming down just a little bit. So temperatures definitely chillier as that cold front swept through earlier today. Most spots in the 30s, couple 40s still left down toward Boscobel and the Dells and Madison and over towards Green Bay. Again, those winds have been howling from the west. 20 to 40 plus miles per hour, and that is causing wind chills in the 20s, even teens in Eau Claire and off to our west. In fact, expect teens for wind chills in many spots overnight because air temperatures will be plenty cold in the 20s. Not all bad news to the north where they're still melting that snowpack, because you want to refreeze it at night to kind of slow that process of putting the water in the rivers and streams to kind of minimize the flooding threat. But again, we've got a lot of snow up here yet to melt that's going to make its way down the main channel of the Mississippi. So we're going to have to track the levels on the Mississippi closely over the next month or so. So as that storm pulls away, those gusty westerly winds will be with us still tonight and tomorrow. It will be dry tonight with decreasing clouds. Sunshine to start tomorrow. Some clouds late in the day. I think what's going to happen, a little weak boundary is going to get hung up across the region. Maybe squeeze out some flurries or sprinkles tomorrow night. And then same thing late Friday into Friday night. Maybe squeezing out some isolated showers or sprinkles. But neither of those episodes look like a big deal. So for tonight, decreasing clouds, a lot of bright moonlight with that full moon, 27 for the low. That is cold for April, especially when you factor in the winds, making it feel like the teens. Dry and breezy and cool during the day, 48, that small chance of sprinkles or flurries tomorrow night. And then more seasonable Friday, a high of 56, small chance of showers Friday night. And then 60s for the weekend, small chance for a shower on Easter Sunday. Right now it doesn't look like a big deal, but we'll watch that for you. But look at those temperatures next week, especially Tuesday through Thursday. Highs not only in the 70s, but perhaps well into the 70s by later next week.
It's almost crazy to see that those lows at the end of those 8 days are mid-50s.
Yeah, and that's what's really going to start to melt that snow upriver. So we'll have to watch that Mississippi over the next several weeks.
For sure. Thanks a lot, Bill.
Okay.
Coming up next in sports, how the Bucks can clinch the top seed in the NBA. Plus, Brewers and Mets game came down to the wire, but Garrett Mitchell gave us a home run you don't want to miss. Cade's in next.
20th Annual Early Bird Home Show lowest prices of the year on 2023 projects. Only at the Board Store Home Improvements, 524 Copeland Avenue, La Crosse. Get started today.
Welcome to Wesco. Welcome to huge selection and savings. Buy anything in the store at our Wesco price and get the second item half off. That's right, buy one, get the second for half price with free white glove delivery and setup this month only at Wesco in Sparta.
Oh no, I think I lost my debit card.
Okay, don't panic.
Don't panic, we're in a mall. Some stranger's probably tapping new shoes, tapping a washer-dryer combo, just tapping everything in sight.
It's okay, just tap your phone. With BMO, you can use your phone to freeze and unfreeze a lost card.
I can?
And you can always get a new card instantly at a BMO branch.
I got my tap back.
You ever seen someone this excited about a debit card before?
Oh yeah. Not this excited.
When a bank gives you instant peace of mind, that's the BMO effect.
Honey, where are the kids?
I put them in the furnace so I could figure out why we don't have any heat.
You did what?
Maybe it's that loose wire.
Maybe it's that plug vent.
Maybe it's the bad igniter.
Maybe it's a dirty flame sensor.
Or maybe...
Why don't we just call G&T Heating and Air Conditioning?
Quality you can count on, experience you can trust.
With over 50 years of combined experience, G&T services residential and commercial customers within 50 miles of West Salem.
Welcome to Wesco. Welcome to huge selection and savings. Buy anything in the store at our Wesco price and get the second item half off. That's right, buy one, get the second for half price with free white glove delivery and setup this month only at Wesco in Sparta.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Cade Overton.
Well, besides for opening day, the Brewers have had about as perfect start to a season as you could ask. 2 solid wins in Wrigley and then won by a combined 19 runs in the first 2 games against the Mets. The Brewers, they were going for the sweep earlier this afternoon. We'll pick it up in the second inning, tied at 1, and the rookies continue to deliver. Joey Wiemer with 2 on is going to hit his first home run in the big leagues, and what a spot for it. Brewers take a 4-1 lead. Corbin Burns on the mound, and he struggled a bit today up against Pete Alonso. That's not what you want to see. Alonso takes him deep for a 2-run shot. This game is tied at 4. Next inning, Alonso up again with 1 man on, and for the second time in as many innings, he takes Burns' yard. Mets take a 6-4 lead. A rough outing for Corbin Burns, but the offense was cooking. 2 on for Jesse Winker. He gets a hold of one, finds the gap in right center field. Voit and Yelich will score. We're all even at 6. Then in the bottom of the 9th, Garrett Mitchell puts this game to bed. The rookie had 2 home runs in last night's win, and today he comes through with a walk-off home run, and these rookies are on fire. The Brewers are 4-0 since Bryce Durang, Garrett Mitchell, and Joey Wiemer have entered the starting lineup, and time again, they come up big. 7-6 the final. The Brewers get the sweep. Next up for them, a big series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Brandon Woodruff will be on the mound for Game 1 on Friday. Twins lost just their first game of the year last night, looking to bounce back this afternoon. First inning, Pablo Lopez on the mound from Minnesota, but Jorge Soler is going to take this pitch for a ride. A solo home run over the left field wall. It's 1-0 Miami. Twins offense was lacking a little bit today, but here in the 7th, Trevor Larnach comes through a single into left field. Ryan Jeffers comes in to score. We're all tied at 1. Pablo Lopez started the game up against his former team, and besides for that 1 homer in the first, he was dealing. 7 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, and just 3 hits. But as soon as he came out, disaster struck. Already 1 run across, 2 on for Soler, and this one is gone. A 3-run home run for the Marlins, make it 4 in the 8th inning, and that was the difference maker. 5-2 the final. The Twins dropped to 4-2 on the season. Next up for them, 3 games at home against the Houston Astros starting Friday. And tonight, the Bucks have a chance to clinch the top overall seed in the NBA. All they need is a win over Chicago at home. This one's set to tip in just a few minutes over on ESPN. All of the highlights later tonight. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time you turn your backyard into the oasis you've always wanted? Come to La Crosse Fireplace Company and find your outdoor setup. Imagine gathering with family and friends around your wood-fired pizza oven. Sit back and relax around your new gas fire table, available in different sizes and styles to fit your lifestyle and budget. Stop in this month and receive 15% off outdoor living. La Crosse Fireplace Company, because your place is by the fire.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Gradually decreasing clouds overnight, windy and cold for this time of year. 20s for lows, wind chills in the teens. Still breezy and cool tomorrow, 48, but 50s on Friday, 60s for the weekend, 70s next week. How about that?
Oh, I love to see it. Thanks a lot, Bill. And thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you at 10.